You are listening Dreamline Stories. Chapter 1, The Announcement. The grand hall shimmered with golden chandeliers and polished marble. Kai leaned against a pillar, gripping a glass of sparkling water, trying to steady his racing heart. At the center, Alpha Rowan commanded the room effortlessly, dressed in a crisp suit. His voice carried confidence and warmth as he spoke. I am proud to announce my engagement to Elier. Kai froze, his chest tightening. Memories of Rowan's private smile, the quiet moments they had shared, came rushing back. And then, the pregnancy test, two stark lines staring at him from his bathroom counter. Fear, longing, and guilt collided in his chest. Around him, laughter and congratulations swirled. Rowan smiled, completely unaware, and Kai's heart ached with a confusing, forbidden mix of love and despair. Chapter 2, Frozen Moment. Alone in his apartment, Kai stared at the sink where the pregnancy test had been. 2 lines. 2 lines. What am I supposed to do? If I tell him, it will destroy everything. If I don't, I'll be trapped watching him with someone else. His hands shook, pressing against the counter. He remembered Rowan's gentle touch, the warmth of his hand brushing against his, the soft laughter, the intimacy that had never been named. And now it felt like a trap Kai couldn't escape. Chapter 3, Family Pressure. Kai's older brother, perceptive and blunt, noticed his unease. You've been off lately. What's going on? Kai forced a smile. Nothing, just stress. His brother's eyes narrowed, sharp but caring. Stress that involves Rowan? Kai's secret suddenly felt heavier. It wasn't just his heart at stake, it could change family dynamics, social status, and everything he thought he controlled. Every word, every glance could become dangerous. Chapter 4, Subtle Glances. At Rowan's office, Kai tried to focus on work, but Rowan was always there, magnetic, commanding, yet with a strange softness reserved only for him. Rowan's gaze lingered a little too long. Kai felt his pulse quicken and quickly looked away, heart pounding. Every interaction, every shared space became charged with unspoken tension. I have to hide this, he thought. I can't let him see. Chapter 5, The Engagement Party. The engagement party glittered with guests and candlelight. Rowan and Elier stood together, perfect and radiant, hand in hand. Kai's chest tightened with longing and frustration. He moved through the crowd, keeping a careful smile plastered on his face, all while hiding the secret that could upend their world. Then Rowan reached for a glass, and their hands brushed. Time seemed to slow. Kai's heart jumped. He stumbled back slightly, trying to remain unnoticed. Stay calm. Don't blow this. Not now. Chapter 6, Flashbacks and Hidden Longing. Kai sat alone in his apartment later that night, tracing his fingers over the rim of his coffee cup. The day kept replaying in his mind, Rowan's voice, the engagement announcement, the proud smile that had once been his alone. Why now, he thought bitterly. Why when everything, he trailed off, swallowing hard. His fingers unconsciously traced the lines of a photograph of him and Rowan from months ago, a quiet night when only the two of them existed. He remembered Rowan laughing softly as their hands brushed in the dark, his thumb lingering too long over Kai's knuckles. The memory ignited something painful in Kai's chest, a longing he wasn't allowed to act on, a desire that now felt dangerous. I can't ruin him, or myself. But even as he thought this, a small, uncontrollable part of him wished Rowan could see, could know, and maybe, just maybe, feel the same. Chapter 7, A Subtle Observation. The next morning, Rowan appeared in Kai's office unexpectedly, leaning casually against the doorway. His sharp eyes scanned the room, lingering on Kai just a second too long. Busy? Rowan asked, his tone light but his gaze heavy. Kai jumped slightly, trying to appear calm. Just paperwork, he murmured, cheeks flushing. Rowan's lips curved into a faint, knowing smile. You've been distracted lately. His voice was teasing, but it carried a subtle edge of concern that made Kai's stomach twist. Does he know? Kai panicked inwardly, though Rowan hadn't said a word. Every glance, every slight tilt of his head seemed to pull at Kai's defenses, exposing the secret he wasn't ready to reveal. Chapter 8, The Near Exposure. Later that day, an unexpected incident at work forced Kai and Rowan to collaborate on a project. They were shoulder to shoulder over the same documents, the close proximity making Kai hyper-aware of Rowan's scent, the heat radiating from his body, the subtle brush of hands. Kai's heart pounded. Focus, focus, he muttered under his breath, though his fingers trembled slightly as they adjusted papers. Rowan leaned closer, voice low. You're tense. Relax, Kai. Everything's fine. His words should have been comforting, but instead, they made Kai's chest ache with unspoken longing. A coworker passed by, oblivious, and Kai felt a brief surge of panic. If someone notices. Rowan's eyes flicked up at Kai's face for a fraction of a second, and Kai looked away, cheeks burning. That fleeting look, a mixture of curiosity and something unreadable, lingered in his mind long after Rowan had left. Chapter 9, Conflicted Emotions. Kai walked home that evening, mind racing. He kept replaying every glance, every casual touch, every word from Rowan. His thoughts were a chaotic swirl of fear, longing, and confusion. I can't tell him, not now. But if I don't, how can I survive this? He pressed his palm to his stomach, feeling the tiny weight of the secret growing inside him. Each heartbeat reminded him of what was at stake, not just his life, but Rowan's, Elior's, and the fragile equilibrium of their world. Kai's phone buzzed, a message from a friend, checking if he was okay. He didn't reply immediately. Instead, he stared at the ceiling, imagining Rowan's smile, the warmth of his touch, the unspoken bond that had grown between them. Chapter 10, The Party Aftermath. The engagement party had ended, but the tension lingered. Kai lingered near the balcony, inhaling the cool night air, trying to calm the storm inside him. He heard footsteps and turned. Rowan was behind him, the city lights casting sharp shadows across his face. You've been quiet tonight, Rowan said softly, stepping closer. His gaze bore into Kai's, searching. Kai swallowed, words catching in his throat. I'm fine, he managed, voice barely above a whisper. Rowan's hand hovered just inches from his shoulder. Kai, his voice softened, a rare vulnerability seeping through his usually commanding tone. You know you can tell me anything, right? Kai's chest tightened. He wanted to say everything, to confess, to reach out, to let Rowan hold him, but he couldn't. Not yet. Instead, he nodded, forcing a weak smile. As Rowan walked away, Kai pressed a hand to his chest, feeling the rapid thump of his heart. The night had been a dangerous dance, one step too close to truth, one step away from disaster. I have to survive. I have to protect him, and myself.
Don't forget to subscribe for more stories if you haven't already. Now, back to the story. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories if you haven't already. Now, back to the story.
Chapter 11, The Unexpected Message. Kai's phone buzzed while he was reviewing documents late at night. A message from Elior. Did you see Rowan today? He seemed distracted. Kai's chest tightened. His fingers hovered over the keyboard, unsure whether to reply. Every word now felt like a trap, every action potentially exposing his secret. Distracted? Yes, but not in the way he thinks. He imagined Rowan sitting in the office earlier, leaning slightly forward, eyes lingering on him for just a heartbeat too long. That glance had felt different, electric, but fleeting. Kai's stomach fluttered uncomfortably, a mixture of fear and something more, something dangerous. He didn't reply. Instead, he stared at the ceiling, reliving that subtle brush of Rowan's hand, the warmth of his presence, and the unspoken tension between them. Chapter 12, Elior's Suspicion. The next morning, Rowan, Kai, and Elior were scheduled for a strategy meeting. Kai felt his pulse quicken the moment Rowan entered the room, confidence radiating, commanding the space. Elior, seated opposite Kai, gave him a casual glance that didn't escape Kai's notice. he's watching me, he's noticing me, Kai thought, nervous. As the discussion progressed, Kai felt Rowan leaning closer than necessary to whisper something about the quarterly reports. His proximity made Kai hyper-aware of Rowan's scent, the heat radiating from his body. Kai swallowed, a strange mixture of anxiety and longing twisting in his chest. Elior's sharp eyes darted between the two men, a flicker of suspicion passing. "You two seem unusually in sync," he said lightly, but there was a pointed undertone. Kai's heart skipped. Rowan's gaze met his for just a second, a silent acknowledgement that made Kai's stomach flip. Chapter 13, The Confined Space. Later, Rowan and Kai were forced to stay behind to finalize details. The office was dimly lit, the city lights casting shadows across the walls. Kai could feel every subtle movement, Rowan shifting his weight, the brush of his hand as he reached for the same pen, the faint scent of his cologne lingering in the air. "Are you okay?" Rowan asked softly, stepping a fraction closer. The warmth of his body was unmistakable. Kai's throat went dry. "I'm fine," he managed, his voice trembling slightly despite his best efforts to appear composed. Rowan's gaze softened, almost piercing. "You don't seem fine," he said, voice low, with a hint of concern that made Kai's chest tighten. Every instinct screamed at Kai to run, hide, or confess. Instead, he forced a nod and continued working, acutely aware of every inch that separated them, and yet, every inch that drew them closer. Chapter 14, The First Accidental Touch. As Kai reached for a document, his hand brushed Rowan's. The contact was fleeting, almost imperceptible, yet enough to send sparks shooting through him. Rowan's eyes flicked down to their hands, then back up at Kai's face. The tiniest of smirks tugged at his lips, something teasing but not unkind. Kai felt heat rise to his ears, panic and something else mingling. "I can't, he can't, not now." "Careful," Rowan murmured, his tone casual but loaded with unspoken meaning. Kai's heart hammered. Elior would have noticed, if he had been present. But for this brief moment, it was just Rowan and him, electric tension, unspoken emotions, and a secret that made every second feel dangerous. Chapter 15, The Quiet Confession. That night, Kai sat by his bedroom window, gazing at the city below. The weight of the secret pregnancy pressed on him. The memory of Rowan's piercing gaze and accidental touches replayed endlessly. "I can't tell him, not yet. But if I keep this inside, it'll destroy me, it'll destroy him." His fingers traced the lines of the pregnancy test photo he had kept hidden in a drawer, a constant reminder of what could never be spoken aloud. He whispered into the night, almost as if Rowan could hear him. I wish you knew. I wish it didn't have to be this way." The silence answered him back, heavy and unforgiving. And yet, somewhere in that silence, a small, dangerous hope lingered, a hope that Rowan might somehow sense the truth, or that fate would eventually force their hearts to collide. Chapter 16, Rowan's Uneasy Curiosity. Rowan couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. During a late-night meeting, he watched Kai fidget with papers, his gaze darting nervously. "Kai, are you hiding something?" Rowan asked, leaning slightly closer than necessary. His voice was soft, almost intimate, yet sharp enough to make Kai's heart stutter. Kai's fingers froze mid-page. His chest tightened. If he knew, everything would collapse. "I'm fine," Kai muttered, voice brittle. Rowan's eyes lingered on him, a subtle heat radiating through the quiet office. Kai felt exposed, yet helplessly drawn to the alpha's intensity. Chapter 17, The Jealous Shadow. Elior, perceptive and subtly cunning, started noticing small interactions, glances that lasted a fraction too long, a brush of hands that lingered. "Rowan, is something between you two?" Elior asked innocently one evening, leaning close to Rowan. Rowan froze, his expression unreadable. Kai, passing by, felt a sharp pang of guilt and panic, his stomach knotting. He avoided Rowan's eyes, but he could feel Rowan's attention lingering on him like a silent question. Kai's heartbeat raced, jealousy and fear twisted together. "I can't let Elior see, not now, not ever." Chapter 18, Confined Spaces, Rising Tension. Kai and Rowan were called to inspect a new project site. Confined to a small, dimly lit office, every movement became a charged moment. Rowan leaned over to examine a blueprint. Their shoulders brushed. Kai felt the heat surge through him, his breath hitching slightly. Rowan noticed but didn't pull away. Instead, he muttered softly, almost to himself. "Why do you make it so hard to look away, Kai?" Kai's cheeks burned. "Why do you have to notice me, now?" His fingers trembled as he adjusted papers, trying to regain composure. Chapter 19, Accidental Confession. One night, Kai dropped a folder while leaving the office. Rowan instinctively bent down to pick it up, their faces mere inches apart. The room was silent except for their breathing. "You're tense," Rowan said, voice husky. "Talk to me, Kai. You don't have to hide from me." Kai's throat tightened. He wanted to confess, to tell Rowan everything, the pregnancy, the fear, the longing, but words failed him. Instead, he whispered, barely audible. I can't." Rowan's eyes softened, searching. "I know," he said quietly. I don't want to lose you to silence." The air between them crackled, heavy with unsaid truths. Chapter 20, Unexpected Intimacy. A sudden rainstorm trapped Kai and Rowan under the same small awning outside the office. Kai shivered from the cold and fear of being seen. Rowan noticed immediately, removing his coat and draping it over Kai's shoulders. "You're freezing," Rowan murmured. His hand brushed Kai's, lingering a second too long. Kai felt a jolt of electricity, heart racing, face burning. He shouldn't, but he does. Kai's inner voice was frantic, desperate. Rowan's gaze softened. "You can trust me," he whispered, almost inaudible above the rain. Kai wanted to say something, anything, but all that came out was a trembling nod. The rain masked their shared breaths, their closeness, and the dangerous intimacy of the moment. Chapter 21, Elior's Subtle Threat. Elior noticed the tension growing. At a dinner gathering, he casually commented, "You two seem too comfortable around each other." Rowan stiffened, a rare flash of defensiveness crossing his face. Kai's stomach twisted, he shouldn't have let him see. Elior smiled faintly, unaware of the full truth, but the seeds of suspicion were planted. Kai felt trapped between guilt, desire, and fear. Every interaction became a minefield. Chapter 22, The First Near Touch. While reviewing designs in Rowan's office, Kai reached for the same pen as Rowan. Their fingers brushed, a brief, electric contact. Rowan's gaze dropped to Kai's fingers, then slowly back up to his face. There was something unspoken in that look, a question, a warning, a longing. Kai's heart thumped violently. "I can't, but I want, but I mustn't." Chapter 23, A Private Confession. Kai finally let himself whisper into the night. "I can't tell you, not yet. But you have to know." His words faltered. Rowan's shadow appeared behind him, silent. "I feel it," Rowan said softly. "Whatever it is." "I feel it too." Kai's chest tightened. Does he know? Or is it just instinct? Rowan's presence was magnetic, overwhelming. Kai wanted to hide, but a part of him longed to lean in, to let Rowan know everything. Chapter 24, Emotional Collision. A minor office mishap forced Rowan to physically steady Kai. Their faces were inches apart, breaths mingling. Rowan's hand brushed Kai's shoulder in a protective, possessive way. Kai's mind raced. "I shouldn't, but I can't stop wanting him." Rowan's eyes searched his, soft and intense. "You're mine, whether you like it or not," he murmured, almost teasingly, almost seriously. Kai's knees nearly buckled. He felt the pull, the magnetic danger of being seen, of being wanted. Chapter 25, Cliffhanger, The Secret Almost Revealed. During a late-night office meeting, a colleague almost discovered the hidden documents proving Kai's pregnancy. Rowan instinctively shielded him, hands brushing Kai's again, heart racing. Kai's thoughts spun, if he sees, everything will be over. But, he's protecting me. He cares. Rowan's gaze met Kai's, intense and unreadable. The tension was unbearable. Their secret teetered on the edge of revelation, and both knew the night had changed something irreversible. Chapter 26, Rowan's Confession. Rowan had been pacing his office all night, unable to shake the memory of Kai's tension, the fleeting touches, and the quiet confessions Kai had whispered into the shadows. Finally, he found him sitting alone near the balcony, staring at the city lights. The faint hum of the night filled the space. Kai, Rowan's voice was low, intense, almost shaking with restraint. I can't ignore this anymore. Kai's heart skipped. His hands trembled, face flushed. What do you mean? Rowan stepped closer, each movement measured, deliberate. I feel it too, whatever you're hiding, whatever this tension, this secret between us. I care about you, more than I can admit, more than I should. Kai's chest ached with conflicting emotions, fear, longing, relief, and a dangerous, intoxicating hope. Rowan, you don't understand. I understand more than you think, Rowan murmured, lowering the distance between them. Their faces were inches apart, breaths mingling. Kai's heart pounded in a chaotic rhythm, echoing the storm inside him. Chapter 27, The Secret Revealed. Kai finally took a shaky breath, fingers clutching Rowan's coat. I'm pregnant. Rowan froze. The words hung heavy in the air, fragile yet powerful. His hands hovered near Kai's face, trembling slightly. You, what? His voice was barely a whisper, disbelief and emotion battling in his chest. Kai nodded, tears brimming. I didn't. I couldn't tell you, not while you. Elier. His voice broke, raw and vulnerable. Rowan cupped Kai's face gently. Kai, look at me. His eyes searched Kai's, intense and unwavering. We'll figure this out. Together. Kai's body trembled. Relief, fear, and desire surged simultaneously. He leaned into Rowan's touch, closing his eyes, feeling the unspoken promise of protection, care, and something deeper. Chapter 28, Confrontation and Fallout. The next day, Elier approached Rowan with cautious curiosity. Rowan, is something going on between you and Kai? Rowan's jaw tightened. This is between Kai and me. I suggest you respect that. His tone left no room for argument. Elier paused, realizing the depth of Rowan's feelings. I understand. His expression was calm, but there was a flicker of disappointment. Meanwhile, Kai felt a mix of anxiety and relief. The secret was out, yet Rowan's unwavering presence made him feel safe. Every micro-moment, Rowan's hand brushing against his, the warmth of his body near him, was a silent reassurance. Chapter 29, Emotional Bonding. Rowan and Kai spent the evening alone, the city lights painting soft shadows across the room. They sat close, knees touching, hands occasionally brushing. I was so scared, Kai whispered, voice trembling. I didn't want to ruin everything, ruin you. You could never ruin me, Rowan said, voice deep and tender. He pulled Kai closer, resting a hand on the small curve of his stomach. We'll face this, together. Whatever comes, we'll face it as us. Kai's eyes brimmed with tears. I don't deserve you. Rowan shook his head gently. You deserve more than you know. And I'm not letting you face this alone. The room was silent except for their shared breaths, hearts beating in sync, tension giving way to trust, desire, and undeniable love. Chapter 30, Romantic and Emotional Closure. Weeks later, the office, family, and social circles had adjusted to the new reality. Rowan officially ended his engagement with Elier, who accepted it with grace, leaving Rowan free to fully focus on Kai. Kai and Rowan sat together in their shared apartment, the sun streaming in. Rowan gently brushed Kai's hair behind his ear, thumb caressing his cheek. I don't care what anyone says, you're mine, Rowan murmured, eyes soft but intense. Kai leaned into him, smiling through tears. And I'm yours. Always. Rowan pressed a kiss to Kai's temple, a protective, possessive, and tender gesture that said everything words could not. The pregnancy no longer felt like a secret or a burden, it was a symbol of their bond, their love, and the future they would face together. For the first time, Kai felt completely safe, completely loved, and completely seen. The slow burn, the tension, the fears, they had all led to this moment. And in Rowan's arms, Kai knew they would survive anything.
Thanks. Hit subscribe for the next story.